You ready?
You are.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
All
You're
right.
ready.
Well, welcome. I'll call the April meeting of the Bourbon Town Council to order. First item on the agenda is the March 14th minutes.
I make a motion to accept the March 14 minutes.
I second that.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So we talked about last month reestablishment of our cum cab development rate, and tonight we're gonna need to hold a public hearing in regards to that. So is there a motion to open the floor to public hearing for the reestablishment of that?
I make a motion to open the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second to open the floor to public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Anyone here wishing to speak one way or the other in regards to the reestablishment of the cum cap development rate for the town? Basically what happens is every so many years, municipalities have to reset or reestablish their cum cap development rate. I think this is the last time we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
State legislature changed it, so municipalities won't have to go through this process every so many years. Anyone? Okay. Motion to close?
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under old business, we discussed the vacating of the alley. Chuck, do you wanna?
Yeah, we have, it's an old platted alley that runs probably for about 70 feet between two parcels owned by the Hollies. And the Plan Commission would like for you to vacate that so that it can go to the Hollies. They would own that whole strip there on the,
And that address was?
what's your address?
It's probably 201 or 200 quad, roughly. West Quad. No, it is right.
Oh, they're the railroad track? Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
Has it been checked for utilities and make sure there's no utilities or yes?
Okay. Yeah, parcel numbers, 5033244022222000002. And then the other parcel, the only difference is a 3 instead of a 2. So it's just vacating that section. The Plan Commission did pass that at their March 13th meeting and moving that on to the council with a favorable recommendation. So that's now turned into an ordinance 2023-7 to vacate that right-of-way. Is there any council discussion or questions before we move forward with a vote?
I have no questions.
I make a motion to pass that ordinance, I guess with the wording, as long as there's nothing in it that would affect the town.
Where I guess the only question I have is,
Yeah.
did the agreement get signed, Chuck?
I signed it.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
I'll second that.
Motion and second to pass ordinance 2023-7. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. CD rate. Ordinance 2023-5 is the ordinance that reestablished the Cume Capital Development Fund, which we just had that public hearing for. Is there any council discussion, comments in regards to that before a vote?
Not by me. I make a motion to accept the 2023-5 reestablishment fund.
I second that.
Okay, motion and second to pass ordinance 2023-5. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So, this next, I think you guys have seen a copy of this. It's 2023-6. It's an ordinance that establishes a process by which the town of Bourbon and its council would, at the council's complete discretion, provide a retiring police officer the handgun that they utilized during their time here with the town of Bourbon. That's basically the ordinance states that it's the weapon that they used in the line of duty, and that Bourbon officer must have served a minimum of 20 consecutive years with the Bourbon Police Department in order to be eligible to receive that weapon. The town council would deem that particular weapon as surplus, and for the purposes of providing that as a retirement recognition for that police officer. I believe you guys have seen a copy of
Yes.
this. Is there any discussion or?
I'm in favor of it, but I do have some questions. I mean, it's at the whole sole discretion if we want to deter away from that, right?
Yes.
And I guess I'd give me, for example, somebody gets cancer or something, you want to retire early and give that to them,
Well, that would fall under the discretion, though,
That's
correct?
what I'm asking.
Well, the way we word right there is that it requires 20 years.
Yeah.
So you get that taken out if you wanted to. We could add some language in there that you could make a special exception, but we need to add that in there because that wouldn't be permissible the way it's worded right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opinion on that? I get what Les is saying.
Mm-hmm. I think,
Or if a law officer's hurt in the line of duty and cannot
Correct.
continue in a position such as that.
it's always done as a retirement. Bill, you got anything? You want to weigh in on that?
I like the idea that where it'd be your choice if I could come to you if we have somebody hurt in the line of duty and they have
Okay.
17 years, and I'd ask you to make a consideration. I like that idea.
Okay.
You can make a motion to table it?
No,
Okay.
I think it's, I'm really move forward with those changes if
But it's not worded that way. It's not
Yes.
worded that way in the document, so
Yeah.
you need to table it till next month.
you could do first reading on it and change it, I guess. Couldn't you?
Yeah, I can amend it and you can do it next month.
Okay. You guys will need to get Alex the language that you prefer so he can make those changes.
How would you suggest to put that wording, just under special circumstances?
Or
Yeah,
work with
yeah.
Bill, I guess, too. Chief should have some input in that.
I can put something together and just email it to all you guys. and
Okay.
You can just let me know yay or nay.
Okay,
Do it
that's
that
good
way.
with me.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's council's wishes on this ordinance then?
I make a motion on first reading and pass it with those changes.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second to pass on first reading pending changes being made. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next item. I think everyone's received a copy of the resignation letter from Chris Berger for the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yes.
Is there a motion to accept that resignation?
I make a motion to accept his resignation if he doesn't want to try to work through things.
Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will seek a replacement in the coming months then for Mr. Berger. We thank him for his service. Kim, go ahead. Floor's yours.
On approval of claims 5285 to 5346, $225,271.43.
I make a motion to pass that claims totaling that amount.
Second that.
Motion and a second to approve the claims as presented by the clerk treasurer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The three of you have a copy of the TIF management annual report that was submitted through Gateway to the Department of Local Government Finance. That is just for your records
Okay.
only. The pre-closing conference today on the water plant was held. I've got everything in order, and the closing is scheduled for April 25th.
Great.
That's it.
Thank you for that, Kim. Appreciate it. Chief Martin.
Along with my activity report, you have a copy of the map and whether they.
Okay. He's already started with the county, is that correct? Okay.
I make a motion to accept his resignation.
Motion to accept the resignation.
I'll second that.
Motion is second to accept the resignation of Matt Geiger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill, anything else?
Yes, I'd like to request permission to open up the process to hire a fifth officer. Take applications.
That's to replace Matt. Council?
I make a motion to accept that.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to allow the chief to open up applications for a new police officer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
How long do we usually advertise that for? A month?
Well, I have no idea.
That's up to you. There's no,
Okay.
good luck.
Yeah.
And with, I'd also like to ask permission to hire Joe Dyche as a part-time officer. Being that Matt resigned, we no longer have a firearms instructor. Joe would be, he's qualified as an instructor for DTs and firearms. And he would take that role on for us until we get tailored to firearms school. And then, he just retired from Plymouth Police Department, and he wants to take a little break, but eventually I'd like to, he'll start working part-time. Like permission to hire him.
Make a motion to accept that.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to allow the chief to hire Joe Dyche as a part-time police officer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We also have a reserve application. Taylor is currently in the background investigation, and if he's done within a couple of weeks, I'd like, if everything checks out, I'd like permission to put, her name is Brooke, something out of Rochester, and she works at CMA, and she has a degree in criminal justice, and I'd like to put her on reserves if she passes all the qualifications.
Has she had any martial school or anything?
Does her.
What's her last name?
Sumption, Sumption.
T-I-O-N. Okay.
Can you say that 10 times?
Council?
I make a motion to accept that.
I'll second that.
I think it's always important, especially in today's age, we need young ladies in professional stuff, so I encourage you guys to change your major and become law enforcement. That's important.
Can we modify the motion pending
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
outcome of the background?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the change in the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Roger Terry.
Are you done, Bill?
He's done.
You have activity reports?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay. Everything else going well? Okay.
Thanks for, I know, getting out here and picking up leaves and doing that. It's a lot of work for you. Just want to thank you and everybody for doing that. Citizens appreciate that, especially trying to clean up their yards, and I know I did. So,
So's Bill.
Bill too?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to thank you for doing that.
That's it.
Okay. Council have any questions for Roger and all?
Nope, but I'll also say thank you.
Mr. DeWitt?
Bring a plat before you. This was passed by the Plan Commission. It's taking off 1.81 acres off of a larger parcel for Westifer.
Not on 12th Road, isn't it?
11B,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, 11B Road.
Oh, yeah, that right out here. Yeah.
So it meets all of our requirements, everything else. So protocol is Plan Commission approves it, bring it to you, approval, and they can
And they're going to do what with it?
build a new house.
I am okay with that. You need a motion?
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the plat change on the Westifer property.
I second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, we also have 2 cases in court. Right. And then I've sent out 3 letters for cleanup and removal of trash and other things. I won't, if you want to come, I'll let you know later. I won't bring this up in a public meeting. This is something that the Plan Commission talked about last night. This is a motorhome.
Yep.
If you look at it from down the road, you cannot
It's okay, it
see,
can go to voicemail.
you can't see the stop sign at all. And as I understand it, it's been there for years. And Plan Commission asked me to bring it to you for your direction on where to go with it and what to do with it. He has
that's-
room that he can put it in front of his garage if he chooses to.
Can you go back to,
Yeah.
would that be parking in the right of way? So, I mean, technically, I mean, he'd be cited for that, right?
The problem we get into is we have a lot of people in town that park in the right of way, because that's where they park, go across the street. It's
More importantly, it's a stop sign issue.
it's the stop sign, the safety issue. If you weren't from around here, you would not know that you needed to stop on that street.
Yeah, really liability then will fall on the owner of that RV if there's a crash of any kind.
Yeah.
Well, and the other problem is that it could fall on us because we're aware of it.
Has anybody stopped and talked to him and asked him to move it?
At this point, no.
Chief? Is there any ordinance, I mean, it's a traffic issue. Could you ask one of your guys to go and just have a conversation? Thank you.
I'd say we start that route first and
Yeah.
just see if they move.
More gentle.
Yeah.
We're all for that. I think that's all I've got.
Chad? Chad, there you are. Hey,
We had 5 calls since last meeting. House fire, medical assist, brush fire, disregard, and assisted Plymouth out on Ayers Road.
oh yeah, that was this weekend.
Yeah, the chiefs have been meeting once a month at the sheriff's station to talk about automatic aid. We're trying to bring that back, so our call volume may go up a little bit.
Going 1 mile or 2 mile each way?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Probably 1 mile each way.
Back to the old dual response that we did back in the early 90s?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Makes sense to me.
The house fire at Jack Prizer's. That was, I mean, I know 2 guys were on station, so the response was really quick.
Yeah.
But that was nice work on knocking that down quickly, especially during a weekday,
Yeah, they had-
because y'all don't have a lot of people around. So very nice work on that. You passed that on to the guys. That was very quick. Saved his house. Anything else, Chief?
Nope, that's all I have.
Anything for the fire chief?
No.
Nice garage doors.
Yeah.
thank the township trustee.
Yeah,
Yeah, rock on.
Put them up when you leave.
Yeah. Don't drive out until they're up, right?
Yeah.
Some squad car stories about that.
Yeah, that's definitely happened in our place.
Yeah, boy. Alex?
I think I told you guys last meeting that I'd sent out some kind of pre-suit letters to, it was Linda Brown and Kenneth Kretcher. Still never seen anything from Mr. Kretcher. I think I was just waiting on Chuck to be able to get out there and take a look around just to give me a final tally of what needs to be corrected before we initiate a lawsuit. I did actually hear from Ms. Brown in the last couple of weeks, and she indicated that she believes that she should have everything corrected within 2 months if we're going to wait to initiate some type of litigation. So I've not filed anything yet. Yeah, I guess I kind of assumed that we'd kind of give her that time, but it's up to you guys if you want me to hold off on doing anything on that right now.
Is, what's her face up on the water bills? And what's the status of that? I can't think of her name.
Karen
Karen.
Holmes.
Karen Holmes.
Well, I know that Kim had filed a lien already. At that point, I don't really know what else can really be done past filing the lien.
Wasn't that part of the contract though that she had to, so she violated that contract?
She did as far as that goes, but she said everything else in compliance. I don't really know if I can file an abatement just for non-payment of the water bill.
How do we end this thing with her? It's been going on a long time.
That's an Alex question, don't look at me.
I mean, I think under that agreement, I mean, I don't think I can bring a lawsuit at this point.
Is it a small claims matter at all?
I mean, we could try to foreclose on the lien. That's the only thing we probably could do.
How much do you, roughly?
Well, you can only file a lien on the wastewater portion of it. She owes a little over $2,200 on that, but you can only file a lien and regain the wastewater portion, so that's not quite half of what she owes that we could possibly collect with her taxes.
And we're gonna be getting in the mowing season where she probably won't, I mean,
She did keep that up last year, so
If there,
we did not have that issue last year with her.
I think what I'm hearing from council is if there's something that you can do legally, just give it a whirl and see if we can't
Understood.
recoup.
All
Does
right.
that sound okay, guys?
That's
Is
good
that
with
okay?
me. Just time it's over.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
it's just
Alex?
never ending.
The police department has sent a letter to the residents at Kenneth Kretcher's on 5 junk vehicles. They have not responded, but they still have time.
Is that out on 10?
I can forward
No.
you that if you want to see the letter that
Okay.
Officer Amson sent on that.
Where's that at?
11,006
Yeah, I
North
think it's-
Washington.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, the corner.
yeah,
Yeah, 1006 North Washington.
yeah.
All right. Anything else, Alex?
That was it.
Questions for Alex? Anything? Before we move into any type of patron comments, I would like to ask Jane and Jeff Fuller to step forward. And if you guys recall, we've created the Pride in Bourbon Award. That was designed to thank and recognize those who have invested in their businesses or homes in bourbon. And so we have a whole folder here of good applicants. But this evening, I would like to recognize Jeff and Jane for the work that they have done at the Fuller Cup. So, guys, can you join me?
Yep.
Come on up. Come on up.
You gotta come up. I don't have to stand.
So, in recognition of the community improvement, the Bourbon Town Council would like to award the Fuller Cup the Pride of Bourbon Award today. So we would like to provide you with a certificate that I will put back in here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. This, if you wish to take this with you, you can display that in somewhere in your store or in the window.
Yep.
If you don't
Sure.
wish, that's fine, but don't want to put that on you. So
I guess it's on both sides.
it is, but we want to thank you both for your continued investment, not only at the Standard, but the Fuller Cup in downtown Bourbon. It means a great deal to the
Yes.
community, and it means a great deal to those of us who go and have the cream-filled muffins on a daily basis, so thanks for that.
And the drip coffee.
And yes,
You ready?
yeah,
1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do it twice.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank-
Thank you guys
Thank
very
you.
much for the award.
Absolutely, thank you for what you guys do, we appreciate it. Okay, patrons' comments or concerns, anyone wishing to, please state your name, address, and what you have to say.
Lily, oh, just a second. Lily,
Yes.
why don't you tell them about your upcoming thing here at the Matches Center?
Yay! Okay, so I'm Lily Stetzel. I have an internship with Ancilla every morning. I do half days, pretty great experience. And one of the requirements is to do a suicide prevention and awareness
Yes.
seminar. And I'd like to invite you all to my round 2. It's at the Matches Center, April 20th. That's a Thursday, 6 to 8. Free childcare at the Triton Elementary. And we're just going to have an honest conversation. There's going to be 5 panel members and
Didn't she
Outstanding.
say that wasn't it?
I have it on my
April 20th,
calendar,
6 to
Yay,
8.
it's so
yes,
fun.
Yeah, I do too.
so, well, thank you for
thank
doing
you.
that, it's very nice.
I'm sorry, Craig.
Oh, that's fine. I just had something I wanted to share with everybody.
Thank you.
You want me? I'd just like to introduce myself. I'm Craig Hawley, and if you've not met me, my family, we're not residents within the city limits. However, we do reside in Bourbon Township, along with my wife and 5 girls, who all attend Triton School Corporation. I am the proprietor of a small farm drainage business located within the city limits, just south of the railroad tracks and west of the Legion. We own some property here in town, and our girls are very active in the school extracurricular programs, as well as many sports. I'm here this evening on behalf of my daughter Cheyenne, who is currently a junior at Triton High School and could not attend tonight on account of a home tennis match. But I would just like to expound slightly on an incident that occurred on the 14th of March. And I don't want to take too much of the time, but just want to point out a few items that have proven to be very discouraging from a small town with a big heart. At approximately 4:35 that afternoon, she, along with her passenger, her sister Savannah, left the school after practice, and as they were ready to pull onto 331 northbound, they noticed a town patrol officer heading north as well. As she pulled out and was following, they approached the overpass over US 30, and as said, she knew there was an officer of the law in front of her, so she was not speeding or following too close. At a sudden moment, the officer noticed a speeding vehicle in the southbound lane, and without notice or activating his signal or emergency lights, he proceeded to do a U-turn on the approach lane going across the bridge. As he stated, he did not realize or pay attention to the traffic in his lane following him. If you are going 40 to 45 mile an hour and come to a sudden stop, that does not give much time for followers to react. Cheyenne noticed at the moment no one was in the southbound lanes, so in an attempt to avoid collision with the officer, she went left, not knowing he was going to do a U-turn. In fact, that is what he did, and the right front corner of Cheyenne's pickup collided with the officer's driver's door in front of him. Now, a few of you on the town council already know about this incident. In fact, may have been the first person to arrive. Chief Martin, along with myself, were there to console those involved and make sure everyone was okay. And I appreciate and would like to thank Chief Martin for doing a wellness check on my girls in the days following the accident. You see, the real reason I'm standing here is not to point out the faults of an accident or who caused it, because we all know that is an insurance company's job to sort that out. As a business owner, I know the cost of doing business and the expenses that come along, such as large insurance premiums that we pay annually to protect ourselves and others around. The town's insurance company has hired a third-party adjustment company to settle this incident. What most of you don't know is that this company is pointing the blame on Cheyenne, saying she was following too close, and that is what caused the accident. If she was following an officer of the law too closely, she would have had a rear-end collision. As I said, there was a few pillars of the community on the scene after the collision, and anyone standing there physically looking at the scene could see what actually caused the accident along with the officer involved. He said in his statement, "I did not even see her before I made my turn." To sum up my informative speech, I am just here to educate those of you who may not know about this scenario, and also mention how this affects young minds. Cheyenne cannot understand why the insurance company is forcing the blame onto her for a non-emergency event that took place and now has cost us and the town of Bourbon vehicle loss. I stand here to ask the members of this town council to think about this as if you were in this particular position and how you would like to be treated or compensated. My daughter was driving a vehicle that was in very good condition for its age and made for good, dependable transportation from school to home. I realize this vehicle is only worth so much, and at this point in today's market can be hard to replace with something comparable. At the end of the day, this incident is not going to break my family financially, and we are fortunate that our children were not physically hurt, as you can replace material items such as vehicles, but not lives lost. Please consider this matter and set a good example for all the folks in this town to know the difference between right and wrong, and when mistakes are made, that we own up to our mistakes and take responsibility for them. You have the opportunity to review with your insurance agents via email, phone, text, and I just like that you take this informative information and let them know your officer was in the wrong and mistakes do happen. Whether you know it or not, that is a huge burden for anyone to carry on their shoulders. As human beings, we will never forget the events that take place during and after an accident or an infraction with the law. As an officer of the law, they may be exempt from certain rules and regulations of the roadway, but it's still their job to protect our citizens in this town from harm and danger, along with doing their job in a safe manner. So this evening I felt compelled to share this information with you, not because I'm upset with you folks that sit on the town council. In fact, Kim has been very helpful and gone above and beyond for any information reports or anything, or that matter that I've had questions on for our local business and properties in this town. However, I am very discouraged and disappointed with the outcome of the results the insurance company has declared on Cheyenne. As previously stated, we do not have residents in the city limits, but we are invested into this town with interest in business buildings and lots, and thoroughly enjoy supporting local business and school-related functions. If any of you would like to hear the recorded statements or look through the pictures, please feel free to contact me or Kim Berger. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Holly.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else for public comment this evening? Chuck?
I just should have said this earlier, but Chris Berger leaving the BZA is a loss to the BZA and to the town. He's had years of experience in what he's done. He has always been very enthusiastic and willing to do whatever he needed to do or could do to help the town. It will be a loss to the BZA and to the town, and I just want to thank him for the years that he's done this. As you look for a replacement, I hope you find someone equally has equal ability and experiences. I would also ask that our ordinance allows us to have an alternate to the BZA. And so as you're looking for a new BZA member, look for an alternate. That person can come in, attend the meetings if someone's missing, they can step in. And if we have someone who leaves again, we would have someone there to step in that has experience. So I'd like to consider that.
That alternate, is there a political affiliation in town, out of town, 2-mile boundary? Does it
It's an
specify?
appointment- It's an appointment by.
Okay, so there's no, it doesn't specify, okay, thank you. And I agree with you, Chuck, it is lost.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Okay, any other patron comments this evening? Council?
Nothing on my part.
Les?
I want to appreciate all the young people coming to the meetings. I think it's important to be involved in the community and you know what's going on. And you guys are our next generation, so get involved. I mean, that's a huge thing. You don't see people wanting to get involved, and you know, it's like this BZA. I mean, it's hard to get people to donate their time, but I encourage all of you guys to deep down and get involved, because that's what the community is about, is being involved. So I encourage you guys, and I applaud you guys for being here today.
Thanks.
That's all I have.
Okay. Seeing nothing else on our agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor? Aye.